Chapter 1. A Mystery in Frosthaven. It was Christmas Eve in the snow-covered town of Frosthaven, where every house sparkled with twinkling lights, and the streets were filled with the jingling of bells and carolers singing cheerful tunes. Clara, a curious and adventurous 8-year-old, sat by her bedroom window. Outside, snowflakes danced in the air, settling softly on rooftops and tree branches. Her gaze wasn't fixed on the cheerful townsfolk or the glittering decorations. Instead, she was staring down the lane, past the glowing houses and wreath-covered doors, at a peculiar building, Finkel's Toyshop. The small, crooked shop stood apart, tucked away under a canopy of frosted pine trees. Its sign hung lopsidedly, and its windows glowed faintly, as though hiding secrets within. "Why doesn't anyone ever go in there?" Clara whispered to herself. She had lived in Frosthaven her entire life, but had never seen a single person enter or leave the shop, not even during the busy Christmas season. Her thoughts were interrupted by her younger brother, Henry, bursting into her room. "Clara, Mom says it's time to help bake cookies." "I'll be down in a bit," Clara replied, her eyes still glued to the toy shop. Something about it tugged at her curiosity. As soon as Henry ran off, Clara made up her mind. She quickly bundled up in her coat, scarf, and boots. "I'll just take a peek," she thought, sneaking down the stairs and out the front door. Chapter 2. Entering the toy shop. The cold wind nipped at her cheeks as Clara trudged through the thick snow. The closer she got to Finkel's toy shop, the more her excitement mingled with nervousness. When she reached the door, she hesitated. It was old and weathered, and the little bell above it was tarnished. Clara pushed the door, and with a loud creak, it opened. The inside of the shop was dimly lit, with strings of fairy lights casting soft, golden glows over shelves packed with the most wonderful toys Clara had ever seen. There were spinning tops that twirled on their own, stuffed animals that seemed to wriggle, and trains that puffed tiny clouds of smoke. Clara's heart raced. "This place is magical," she whispered. In the middle of the shop stood a tiny Christmas tree, and under it was a shimmering gold book with the words, "The Key to Christmas," written in elegant script on its cover. As Clara reached out to touch it, the room came alive. Chapter 3. The Talking Toys. Suddenly, toys began to move and chatter. A wooden nutcracker toy sprang to life, clicking his heels together. A plush penguin waddled out from a nearby shelf, chirping with excitement. Dolls waved and stuffed animals giggled. Clara gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "Welcome, Clara," said the nutcracker in a cheerful voice. He bowed deeply, his wooden face showing a warm smile. Clara took a step back. "How do you know my name?" "Finkel's toy shop has been waiting for you," said the nutcracker. "Christmas is in trouble, and only a brave and kind soul like you can help." "Trouble?" Clara asked, clutching her scarf. "The Star of Sparkle is dimming," the nutcracker explained. "It's a magical star that powers all the toys for Christmas. Without it, Santa won't have the toys ready to deliver, and Christmas joy will fade across the world." Clara's stomach flipped. "What can I do to help?" "Journey to the Land of Lights and retrieve the Heartlight Crystal," said Waddle the penguin. "It's the only thing that can restore the star's glow." "Will you come with me?" Clara asked, her voice trembling but resolute. "Of course," said Waddle. "But beware, the journey will be filled with challenges." Clara nodded. "I'm ready." Chapter 4. A Winter Wonderland. The back door of the shop opened into a dazzling world unlike any Clara had seen. This was the Land of Lights, a snow-covered kingdom where the snowflakes glittered and golden pathways glowed underfoot. Enormous glowing trees stretched into the sky, and the air hummed with soft, magical music. Clara held tightly to the silver lantern the nutcracker had given her. "Let's follow the glowing snowflakes," Waddle suggested, pointing with a flipper to a trail leading deeper into the wonderland. Along the way, they encountered magical creatures. A frost owl with glowing eyes swooped down, landing on a branch. "To move forward, solve my riddle," the owl said, its voice echoing like a chime. Clara listened carefully. "I have keys but no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you can't leave. What am I?" She furrowed her brow, then smiled. A keyboard. Correct, said the owl, tossing down a shining feather. This will guide you through the candy cane forest. Chapter 5. The Candy Cane Forest. The forest was dazzling but tricky. Sticky candy cane vines hung from trees and tried to ensnare Clara and Waddle. With the owl's feather lighting their way, Clara used her lantern to melt the vines and clear the path. I've never seen anyone this clever, Waddle chirped, waddling along beside her. At last, they reached the entrance to the crystal cavern, where the heart-light crystal lay hidden. But standing guard was a grumpy gremlin named Grimmel. Chapter 6. A Heartwarming Resolution. No one takes the crystal, Grimmel growled, barring the way. His crooked grin and sharp claws made Clara shiver. Please, Clara said, stepping forward bravely. Without it, Christmas will be ruined. Why should I care? Grimmel spat. No one's ever cared about me. Clara softened. Everyone deserves kindness, even you, she said gently. Maybe if you help us, you'll feel the magic of Christmas too. Grimmel blinked, surprised. Kindness for me? His frown wavered, and he handed over the crystal. Fine, but only because you asked nicely. Chapter 7. The Star Restored. Back at the toy shop, Clara placed the heart-light crystal into the Star of Sparkle. A burst of golden light filled the room, and the toys cheered as magic returned. Santa appeared in a swirl of snow, his red suit gleaming. Clara, you've saved Christmas. Children everywhere will wake up with joy tomorrow. He handed Clara a nutcracker toy as a gift. Whenever you need courage, he'll remind you of your adventure. Clara climbed into Santa's sleigh for a ride home, gazing down at Frosthaven under the twinkling stars. Chapter 8. Christmas Morning. The next morning, Clara awoke to find the golden nutcracker smiling on her nightstand. Her house was filled with the scent of cinnamon and the sound of her family laughing. Looking outside, she saw the toy shop glowing warmly at the end of the lane. She smiled, knowing that the magic of Finkel's toy shop would live in her heart forever.